The battlefield was silent now, only smoke rising from broken machines and burning ground. A human soldier lay among the ruins, his uniform torn, blood staining the dirt around him. His chest rose and fell weakly, each breath slower than the last. He tried to move, but his body did not answer. Only pain shot through his veins. The war had taken everything from him, and now it was about to take his life too. He looked at the alien sky above, strange stars he did not know. He thought of home, of Earth, of the people he would never see again. The sound of distant footsteps made him tense. Even in his broken state, someone was coming and he had no strength left to fight. His hand searched for his weapon, but the gun was gone, lost in the dirt. The steps grew closer, soft but steady, not the heavy march of soldiers. His heart pounded in fear. Was it an enemy come to finish him off? Shadows moved in the smoke. A figure appeared, smaller than he expected. It was not a soldier, not an executioner, but a woman. Her skin was pale silver, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. She looked at him not with hatred, but with something else, pity. The human coughed, blood on his lips. "End it quickly," he whispered. But the alien woman shook her head, kneeling beside him. Her hands were gentle, soft against his rough skin. "I am not here to kill you," she said, her voice calm like a stream. "I am a doctor, though not one my people respect anymore." Her words were strange, but her tone was full of truth. The human blinked in confusion, his vision blurring. Why would an alien help him, a human, an enemy in this war? The woman leaned close, her hair brushing his cheek. "You are dying," she said, "but I can give you life if you trust me." Her hand touched his face, cool and steady. He wanted to laugh but could not, only a bitter sound came out. "How?" he asked, voice weak. "How could you save me?" She hesitated, as if afraid to speak, then whispered, "My people carry healing within us in the milk of our kind, forbidden to share with outsiders." The human's eyes widened, disbelief mixing with despair. Milk, he thought. How could milk heal wounds that medicine could not? But her gaze was steady, no sign of a lie. "If you want to live, you must close your eyes," she said firmly. "Do not fight it. Do not open them. Just trust me." The soldier's body trembled, his breath shallow, his life slipping away. He thought of Earth again, of the warmth of the sun, of the sea. He thought of the people who mocked him for joining this war. He thought of his mother, the last smile she gave him before he left. And now here he was, dying on alien soil, with an enemy offering strange hope. His pride told him to refuse, better to die than beg for alien mercy. But his heart, desperate to live, whispered otherwise. His lips moved, voice breaking. "Do it." The woman nodded once, relief flashing in her eyes. "Close your eyes, human," she said softly, "and let me save you." Darkness wrapped around him as his eyelids shut. He felt her hand support his head, gentle, almost tender. Then something warm touched his lips, strange and sweet. A taste unlike anything he had known filled his mouth. His body shivered, his heart raced, his blood burned, and in that moment between death and life, he realized this was no ordinary healing, and nothing would ever be the same again. The human felt heat rushing through his body, his wounds no longer screaming in pain but burning. As if fire lived under his skin, his eyes remained shut just as she told him. Yet fear and confusion clouded his mind. What was she giving him? What strange power moved in his veins? He wanted to open his eyes, but her voice returned, soft yet firm. "Do not look, not yet." Her hand pressed against his chest, steady, like she was guiding the storm inside him. "You are between death and life now," she whispered, "and only trust will decide which side you walk." Her words confused him, but something in her tone forced him to listen. He took a trembling breath, each one stronger than the last. His heart, once fading, now beat like thunder against his ribs. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. Time had no meaning in that darkness. Finally, her voice came again. Open them, slowly. The human obeyed, blinking against the smoke and strange alien light. Her silver face was close to his, her glowing eyes searching his. For the first time, he noticed her exhaustion, sweat shining on her skin. She looked fragile, as if she had poured her own life into saving his. He tried to sit up, his body shaky but no longer broken. Pain was there, but less sharp, less deadly. He stared at her, his voice rough. What did you do to me? The alien doctor lowered her head as if ashamed. My milk healed you, she said. A gift forbidden by my kind. The human froze, not knowing what to say. He expected medicine, injections, machines. But not this. She continued, her voice trembling yet proud. My people believe our gift is sacred, never to be shared with enemies, never to be wasted on outsiders. Her eyes lifted to meet his, glowing brighter. But I could not watch you die. The soldier's mind raced, questions burning like fire. Why would she save him? Why risk exile, even death, just for him? As if reading his thoughts, she spoke again. I was once a respected healer, but I broke the rules. I saved lives my people wanted left to die. Her hands clenched, sorrow flickering across her face. They called me traitor, so I wandered, alone until I found you. The human stared at her, disbelief mixing with gratitude. She had risked everything for a stranger, an enemy. His lips parted, voice low. Why me? The doctor leaned closer, her tone heavy with meaning. Because you remind me of something my people forgot. Hope. He felt a shiver crawl up his spine. Her words were strange, yet they touched something deep inside him. Still, doubt clung to his heart. What is the price? He asked. The alien doctor went silent, her expression unreadable. Finally, she spoke. The healing is not free, it binds us, his breath caught. Binds us how? Her gaze softened, yet carried weight. Your life is now tied to me, my milk connects us, body and spirit. He felt his pulse quicken, the idea both terrifying and unreal. Without me, you may not survive, she said. You are part of me now. The soldier's heart raced, fear twisting with something else, curiosity. Was this healing a miracle or a curse disguised as mercy? He clenched his fists, testing his new strength, the fire still alive in his veins. The alien doctor watched him closely as if waiting for his decision. You can hate me for it, she whispered. Or you can live. The human stared at her glowing eyes, the only light in the smoke-filled dark, alive because of her, yet chained to her gift. He swallowed hard, torn between anger and awe. At last, his lips moved. Voice, heavy with doubt. What happens now? The alien doctor's eyes softened, her whisper carrying both fear and promise. Now, human, your fate and mine walk the same path. The human sat in silence, his heart beating too fast, his breath uneven. The alien doctor's words echoed in his mind again and again. Your life is tied to mine now, she had said. Her silver eyes still glowed faintly, watching him carefully. It was strange, he thought. She looked more tired than he felt, as if saving him had cost her more than he understood. He tried to move, his muscles shaking but no longer broken. Each step felt unsteady, like learning to walk again. The burning inside him had not faded. It pulsed through his veins like fire and light. He pressed his hand to his chest, feeling his heart pounding. What have you done to me? He asked again, voice sharp with fear. The alien lowered her head, her voice calm but heavy. I told you I healed you with my milk, but it is not only healing, it is a bond. The word bond struck him harder than any wound. He remembered the moment her voice told him to close his eyes, the taste, the warmth, the shiver that spread through his body. It had felt wrong and yet comforting, dangerous but life-giving. Now he understood it had not just saved him, it had changed him. Show me, he demanded, anger mixing with curiosity. Show me what you mean. The alien doctor hesitated, then lifted her hand slowly. She touched her chest and closed her eyes. Instantly, He felt a strange tug inside his mind, like a string pulled tight. A soft beat echoed inside him. Not his own heartbeat, but hers. His eyes widened, fear gripping him. That was you, he whispered. Yes, she replied. You feel me now. As I feel you. He stepped back, shaking his head. This is wrong. This is not human. This is some kind of trick. But the doctor's eyes were sad, not cruel. No, trick, human. The bond cannot lie. You are alive because of me, and that tie will not break. He wanted to fight it, to deny it. But deep inside he knew she was right. Already he felt her exhaustion, her weakness flowing faintly into his own body. It was like sharing breath, like sharing blood. He clenched his fists, furious at himself for accepting her help, but even more furious that he did not truly regret it. The alien doctor leaned closer, her voice now soft, almost pleading. Do not fear this, human. You still have your will, your choice. I do not control you. Then why do you say my life depends on you? He snapped. Because your body now carries my essence, she whispered. Without me, it will fail, but with me, it will grow stronger. The soldier's chest tightened, his pride burning. He had sworn never to depend on anyone, not even his own people. And now he was bound to an alien woman, one his kind called enemy. He turned away, his mind screaming, his heart caught between rage and strange wonder. He whispered to himself, I should have died. But another voice in him whispered back, no, you wanted to live. The doctor reached out, her hand trembling as it touched his arm. You did not choose wrongly, she said. You chose life, and life is never shameful. Her words cut through the noise in his head. For a moment he only looked at her, seeing not an enemy, but a healer, a soul who risked everything. Still, fear remained, sharp and heavy. What do you want from me? He asked. Her glowing eyes softened. Nothing, only that you live. The silence stretched between them, broken only by the wind moving through the ruins. The human finally sat back down, his body stronger, but his mind torn apart. Her milk had healed his wounds, but it had opened something deeper. A door he could not close again, and though he tried to push the thought away, one truth pressed harder in his heart. He was no longer only himself. Part of him now belonged to her, whether he wanted it or not. The night grew colder, the battlefield quiet except for the crackle of distant fires. The human sat against a broken wall, his chest rising steady now, his wounds no longer bleeding. He touched the scar on his side, shocked that it had already closed. Hours ago he was dying, yet here he was, breathing, alive, almost whole. It felt impossible, like a dream, yet the truth was written on his healed flesh. The alien doctor sat nearby, her silver skin glowing faintly in the starlight. She looked tired, her body weak, as if giving him life had stolen something from her. Her hands trembled when she pressed them, to her knees, but her eyes still shone, watching him carefully. You see now, she whispered. Your body has accepted the gift. The human shook his head slowly, trying to understand. No medicine I know could heal this fast, he muttered. It is not medicine, she replied softly. It is life itself. Her voice carried weight, like ancient knowledge forbidden. By her kind, he stared at her, confusion in his gaze. Why save me when I am your enemy? She looked away, her face hidden in the dark. Because healing is not about sides, she said. It is about who is before me. The human tested, his strength pushing himself up to his feet. Pain flared for a moment, then faded like smoke in the wind. He stood straighter than before, stronger than he thought possible. It was not only healing, it was something greater, something deeper. He clenched his fists, his arms steady, his legs firm. This was no ordinary recovery, it was a miracle. But with that strength came fear. He could feel something alive inside him, a pulse that did not belong to him. It moved through his blood, flowing like hidden fire. Every breath carried energy. Every step carried power. He turned toward the alien doctor, his voice sharp. "What have you done to me?" She rose slowly, her body fragile compared to his. "I gave you my essence," she admitted. "Now you carry it as your own." The words chilled him. The thought of being changed. "No," he said firmly. "I am human. I cannot be something else." She looked at him, sadness in her eyes. "You are still human," she whispered, "but stronger, more than you were, because part of me lives in you." He stepped back, fear and anger fighting inside his chest. "Then this is not healing. It is corruption." Her eyes flashed with pain at his words, but she did not deny him. "It is what kept you alive," she said. "You would be dead without it." The silence grew heavy between them, broken only by the wind. The human looked at his hands again, feeling the fire in his veins. He remembered the battlefield, the soldiers who had fallen beside him. He remembered the hopelessness of his last breath. And now here he stood, alive because of her, a miracle born from a forbidden gift. Slowly, he lowered his hands, his voice quieter. "You saved me, but you also changed me." "Yes," she said, "and that change is only beginning." Her words struck him like thunder. "What do you mean?" he asked, his heart pounding again. She stepped closer, her silver eyes locking with his. "The bond grows human. It will show itself in ways you do not yet understand." The human swallowed hard, unease twisting in his stomach. But even through the fear, he felt strength, he felt life. He could not deny the truth. This was his first miracle. Yet it carried shadows, questions that burned deeper than wounds. Would this gift become a blessing, or would it one day destroy him? The human paced in the ruins, his boots crunching against broken stone. His body was strong again, too strong, each movement filled with unnatural energy. Every breath carried fire. Every step carried weight. Yet inside, fear coiled around him like a snake. He was alive. But at what price? The alien doctor watched him quietly, her silver eyes calm but heavy. She looked weaker than before, her shoulders trembling, as if a great weight pressed down on her. The human noticed the way she leaned against the wall, her body drained. "You saved me," he said, his voice low. "But you're falling apart." Her lips curved into a sad smile. "That is the cost." He frowned, confusion in his gaze. "What cost?" he demanded, his voice sharper than before. The doctor lowered her head, strands of her pale hair hiding her face. "My milk gave you life, but it took from me in return," she whispered. "You are bound to me now. Your strength feeds on mine." The soldier froze, his chest tight. Her words sank into him like knives. "You mean you are weaker because I am stronger?" he asked. She nodded slowly, her glowing eyes filled with quiet sorrow. "As you heal, I wither. As you grow, I fade." His fists clenched, anger mixing with guilt. "You gave me your life, but you never told me the price." Her voice trembled, but she did not look away. "Would you have accepted it if I told you?" she asked. He opened his mouth, but no words came, only silence. He hated the truth of her question. The human turned away, the fire inside him burning hotter. He felt stronger than ever, but now that strength tasted bitter. Every beat a vow, his heart reminded him that it was not fully his own. He was alive, yes, but his survival stole pieces from her. The miracle had turned into a chain, invisible but heavy. She stepped closer, her voice soft but firm. "Do not carry guilt, human. I chose this, I wanted you to live." Her words were gentle, but they cut deeper. He looked at her, his anger fading into something else, something like fear. "You risk your life for me, a stranger, an enemy," he said. "Why?" Her eyes glistened, sadness and truth shining together. "Because I have lost too many. Because my people believe in death more than mercy. Because I will not let another life slip away when I can stop it." Her voice shook, but her words stood tall. I would rather fade than watch another die when I could save them. The human's throat tightened. He had seen warriors die, comrades fall, and no one lifted a hand to help. But here, an alien doctor had given everything for him. It twisted. His heart tearing between pride and gratitude, he whispered, "I don't deserve this." Her hand touched his arm, light and fragile. "Life is not about deserving," she said. "It is about what we choose to protect." He looked at her, hand on his skin, warm though her body trembled with weakness. A strange thought crept into his mind, one he could not escape. If she grew weaker while he grew stronger, then how long could she last? Would her gift keep him alive only to kill her in the end? His chest tightened. Fear heavier than before. For the first time, the human wished the healing had not worked, because now he carried not only his life, but hers too. The bond was not a blessing. Not yet. It was a burden, a hidden cost that tied their fates together. And in that moment, he realized something dark. Every step he took forward, in strength, might push her closer to death. The night did not stay silent for long. Distant voices carried through the smoke, sharp and cruel. The human stiffened, his instincts alert. The alien doctor raised her head, her glowing eyes narrowing. "They have found us," she whispered. The human moved to the broken wall, peering through cracks. Figures moved in the distance. Armed soldiers with bright armor. Their steps were steady, their weapons ready. They were hunting, searching for something, or someone, and he knew exactly who. "They are after me," the human muttered, gripping a shard of metal for defense. "No," the doctor said quickly. "They are after us." He turned to her, frowning. "Why you?" Her voice carried both shame and fear. "My people know I healed you. They know I broke the law." The human's chest tightened. Not only had she saved him, but she had made herself a target too. He looked into her tired face, pale and fragile under the moonlight. "You risked everything and now they want your life." She nodded once, calm even in fear. "Yes, they call me traitor. And now you are proof of it." The sound of boots grew louder, closer. The human clenched his fists, feeling the strange fire in his blood. He had no weapon, no shield, only his new strength. But for the first time since the bond, he did not think of himself. He thought of her, the doctor who gave him life. "I won't let them take you," he said firmly. Her eyes widened at his words. "You should run, human. Leave me, they will. Spare you if you abandon me." He shook his head, his jaw tight. "They won't spare me, and I won't spare them." Her lips trembled, but she said nothing, only watching him. The soldiers moved into the ruins, their voices sharp. "Find the traitor," one barked, "and the human she healed." The human's grip tightened on the shard of metal. It was nothing compared to their blades, but it was all he had. His heart pounded, the fire in his veins roaring louder. He felt her fear echo inside him through the bond, and his fear turned into resolve. The first soldier came into view, armor glowing in the smoke. The human lunged, faster than he thought possible. His body moved like lightning, the shard slashing across the soldier's weapon arm. The alien soldier cried out, stumbling back in shock. The human had no time to think, only to fight. Another soldier charged, blade raised high. The human caught the strike with bare hands, pain cutting deep, but strength holding firm. He twisted, slamming his enemy into the wall with brutal force. The sound echoed through the ruins, a reminder of the fire burning inside him. Behind him, he heard the doctor whisper his name, her voice shaking. She felt every strike through the bond, his pain mixing with hers. But she did not call him back. She only prayed he would endure. The battle raged, 2 more soldiers closing in. The human fought with raw strength. No training, no weapon, only will. Blood stained his hands, but none of it was his own. He was alive, stronger than before, and yet he felt her weakness deepen. Every strike he made seemed to drain her. Every breath she took grew heavier. At last, silence fell again, the soldiers broken on the ground. The human stood panting, his body shaking, his eyes burning with fire. He turned to the doctor and his heart froze. She was on her knees, her body trembling, her skin pale. The bond had taken its toll. His strength had cost her more than he could bear. He rushed to her side, lifting her gently. "This is killing you," he whispered, fear gripping his chest. Her eyes fluttered open, weak but still glowing. "This is the price, human," she breathed. "Your life, for mine." The human held her close, his chest heavy with guilt. He realized then that the bond was not only a gift, it was a curse that tied their survival together, and as the night grew colder, he understood one truth. From now on, they would be hunted, not just by soldiers, but by fate itself. The human carried the alien doctor into the shadows of the ruins. Her body felt too light in his arms, as if her strength was fading with every breath. He laid her gently against a broken pillar, his chest heavy with fear. Her glowing eyes blinked, open, weak, but steady. "You fought with great power," she whispered, "but that power belongs to both of us." He clenched his fists, guilt burning inside him. Every strike he had made, every wound he had given the soldiers, had drained. Her, it was not his strength alone, it was theirs, shared through the bond. He looked down at her trembling hands, pale and shaking. "This bond," he muttered. "It's not just healing. It's chains." The doctor's lips curved faintly, a sad smile on her face. "Chains can bind, but they can also hold two together," she said softly. He frowned, anger and confusion mixing. "Don't try to make this sound noble," he snapped. "I can feel you suffering, and it's my fault." Her hand reached weakly for his, brushing against his rough skin. "It is not fault. It is fate," she whispered. The human felt a strange pull inside his chest when her fingers touched his hand. Warmth spread through him, not the burning fire of her milk, but something gentler, calmer. It was her heartbeat, soft and steady, echoing in his own blood. He froze, realizing he was not just feeling her touch, he was feeling her soul. At night, when the fires of the battlefield dimmed, he heard more. He could sense her thoughts, faint and fragile, like whispers carried by the wind. When fear filled her, his chest tightened. When calm returned, so did his breath. It was as if two lives now shared the same thread. No wall between them, no distance, only the bond. The soldier sat beside her, the silence heavy. He thought of his own kind, of how humans built walls to protect themselves, but here he was, tied so close to an alien that even silence carried meaning. "Do you hear me too?" he asked quietly. The doctor turned her head, her tired eyes meeting his. "Yes," she said softly. "Your anger, your doubt, your pain. I feel it all." Swallowed hard, unease crawling through him. The bond was deeper than he wanted, too close, too raw. But even as fear lingered, something else stirred in him. She was not just an enemy now, not even just a healer. She was part of him, and he was part of her. That night, they rested under the broken sky. The human tried to sleep, but the bond did not let him. Every time, she shivered. He felt it every time her breathing slowed, his chest tightened. And when she whispered in her dreams, he heard her voice inside his mind. Lonely words, soft cries, the weight of her exile. He realized then that she had carried pain long before she met him. He reached out, covering her trembling hand with his. "I will not let them take you," he whispered, though she was asleep. Through the bond, he felt a flicker of peace in her, as if her spirit had heard him even in dreams. For the first time since the war began, he felt less alone. When dawn came, the human stood tall, his strength renewed. The doctor stirred weakly, her eyes opening. "You are stronger," she whispered, surprised. "Yes," he answered, "but not because of me, because of us." Her lips trembled, as if she wanted to speak, but no words came. Instead, she leaned against him, her breath light against his shoulder. The human looked at the rising sun, his heart heavy but certain. This bond was no curse, no blessing, it was both. It gave him power but demanded sacrifice. It tied his fate to hers in ways neither of them yet understood. And deep inside, he knew the truth. This strange bond would shape the rest of their lives. The morning sun rose weakly through the smoke-filled sky. The human and the alien doctor moved carefully through the ruins, their steps slow, their breaths heavy. The bond between them pulsed like a silent thread, reminding them with every heartbeat that they were no longer separate. He could feel her weariness, she could feel his unease, and neither could hide it from the other. But their uneasy silence broke when the sound of marching reached their ears. Voices shouted in the alien tongue, harsh and commanding. The human pulled the doctor behind a wall, peering through a crack. A squad of alien soldiers approached, their banners marked with the symbol of her people. They were not searching blindly. This time, they moved with purpose, with anger, with judgment. The doctor's face paled, her lips trembling. "They are from the council," she whispered, her voice low. "They know what I have done." The human clenched his jaw, his fists tightening. "What will they do if they catch us?" he asked. Her eyes lowered, her voice almost breaking. "They will kill me for treason, and you for corruption." The words struck him like iron. Corruption, that was what they called the bond, what they called her gift. The human's chest burned with fury, but also with questions. "What is this gift really?" he demanded. "Why do they fear it so much?" The doctor's hands shook, her eyes closing for a moment. Because once, long ago, it was not used to heal. It was used to control. The human froze, his breath caught in his throat. Her voice carried the weight of history, heavy with sorrow. "My ancestors," she continued, "gave their milk to warriors, not to save them, but to bind them, to make them stronger, faster, obedient." Her glowing eyes filled with shame as she whispered, "They became more than soldiers. They became slaves to the bond." The human's chest tightened, his mind flashing back to the fire in his veins, the strength in his arms. He understood now why it frightened her people, why they called it corruption. To them, it was not healing, it was chains. And he, unknowingly, had accepted those chains. When he closed his eyes, "So I am bound to you," he muttered, anger in his tone, like a soldier in their old wars. The doctor's face twisted with pain, her voice trembling. "No, not like them. I did not bind you for control. I did it to save your life." Her hands reached for his arm, desperate. "You are free, human, free to walk away. But the bond means I will feel it, even if you leave." The human pulled back, torn between rage and gratitude. She had given him life, but also a curse older than her people's shame. His voice was sharp. "Why would you risk this? Why would you make me part of their darkest past?" Her eyes glistened, tears shining in the smoke-filled light. "Because I could not let you die," she whispered, "even if the galaxy sees it as sin." The human's chest ached, his mind storming with thoughts. Every breath he took reminded him that his life was tied to hers. Every heartbeat carried both miracle and curse. He turned away, gripping his fists, his voice low. "I do not know if I should thank you, or hate you." The doctor lowered her head, her shoulders trembling. "I do not ask for thanks," she whispered. "Only that you live no matter what it makes me." The soldiers' voices grew louder, closer. The human felt his anger twist into resolve. Whether miracle or curse, he would not let them take her. He turned to her, his eyes burning with fire. "They will not decide what we are," he said firmly. "The bond is ours, not theirs." The soldiers closed in, their armor glinting under the pale light. The human and the alien doctor crouched low, hidden among broken walls and fallen stone. The bond between them pulsed stronger, every heartbeat shared, every breath connected. He could feel her fear like his own, and she could feel his anger rising inside him. The soldiers shouted orders, their voices echoing. "Find the traitor, find the corrupted human," one barked. Their boots crushed the ground, weapons ready to strike. The human gritted his teeth, his hand gripping a piece of metal tight. He knew they would not leave without blood. The doctor touched his arm, her hand weak but her eyes steady. "You can still run," she whispered, her voice breaking. "If you leave me here, they might spare you." Her words cut into him like a blade. Leave her, save himself. That was the choice. but deep inside he knew the truth. He shook his head, his voice rough. They won't spare me. Not after what you gave me. Her lips trembled, but she tried again. You don't understand, human. They will torture you. They will tear the bond apart until you beg for death. Her words carried fear, but also sorrow. She was willing to die alone if it meant saving him. But he clenched his fists, his voice, low and steady. I didn't choose to die when you saved me, and I won't choose to abandon you now. Her silver eyes widened, glowing faintly with surprise. Through the bond he felt her shock, her sorrow, and something else. Hope. For the first time she felt he was not just a patient tied to her. He was choosing her. Not just survival. The soldiers drew nearer, their steps echoing closer. The human's chest rose with fire. The strength flowing stronger through his veins, every nerve burned, every muscle pulsed with power. But he also felt her weakness deepen. Every spark he gained seemed to dim her light. He turned to her, whispering, Will you still live if I fight? Her eyes lowered, her voice weak. I cannot promise. He swallowed hard. The weight of choice heavier than any weapon. Fight and risk her life, or surrender and lose his own. Neither path was safe. Both carried death. But one thought pressed into his mind. The way she had whispered for him to close his eyes. The way she had given him life when no one else would. She had chosen him, and now it was his turn to choose. He rose to his feet, gripping the shard of metal like a blade. The doctor gasped softly, her voice shaking. Don't do this. You'll kill yourself. He looked back at her, his gaze steady. If I fall, it won't be because I ran, he said. It will be because I stood beside the one who saved me. Her eyes glistened, tears forming. Through the bond he felt her heart race, her emotions storming. Fear, sorrow, and something warmer hidden beneath. The soldiers finally appeared, their weapons raised, their faces full of hate. The human stepped forward, placing himself between them and her. His voice echoed strong, If you want her, you go through me. The alien soldiers laughed, mocking his courage. Foolish human, one sneered. You are nothing without her milk. But the human's eyes burned with fire, his fists steady. Then see for yourself, he growled. The doctor's voice trembled behind him. Please don't. But the bond carried more than fear. It carried his resolve into her heart. She felt it, strong and unshakable. He was not just fighting for life anymore. He was fighting for her, for the bond, for the choice she had given him. And as the soldiers charged, the human's heart thundered with one truth. Even if the cost was death, he had made his choice. He would not abandon her. Not now, not ever. The soldiers charged, their blades gleaming under the broken light. The human gripped the shard of metal in his hand, his blood roaring with fire. He felt the alien doctor's fear pulse through the bond, but also her strength flowing faintly into him. Every heartbeat was not his alone. It was hers too, keeping him alive. The first soldier swung high, his weapon whistling through the air. The human ducked low, the shard slashing upward with brutal force. Sparks flew as metal struck armor. The soldier staggered, roaring in pain. The human moved faster than thought, his body fueled by something beyond human limits. But each strike sent a shiver through the bond, draining the doctor behind him. Another soldier rushed forward, blade flashing toward his chest. The human caught the strike with his bare hand, blood running down his arm. He twisted sharply, breaking the soldier's stance, then drove his fist into his chest. The soldier fell back, gasping, armor cracked. The doctor cried out softly, her own chest tightening as if she had taken the blow with him. More enemies surrounded them, circling like predators. The human's vision blurred for a moment, his body screaming. Yet the fire in his veins refused to let him fall. The doctor's milk still burned inside him, each drop now a weapon. Her voice trembled, weak but fierce. Stand, human. Don't. Let them take us, he roared, charging forward with reckless strength. 2 soldiers fell under his blows, their weapons clattering to the ground. But the bond pulled harder, the doctor's body shaking violently, her hands pressed to the dirt, sweat dripping from her silver skin. Every ounce of power he gained seemed to bleed from her. The last soldier, stepped forward, larger than the rest, his armor shining. He sneered at the human, his voice sharp. You think you are strong, but you are nothing without her gift. The human wiped blood from his face, his eyes blazing. Then it is her gift that will end you, he growled. The final clash shook the ruins, steel against steel, flesh against fury. The human fought with every ounce of strength, his body burning like fire. The soldier's blade cut deep into his side, pain flooding his chest. Through the bond, the doctor screamed, her body collapsing, but the human refused to fall. His rage a storm, his fists unbroken. With a desperate strike, he drove the shard through the soldier's chest. The enemy staggered, choking, then fell lifeless to the ground. The battlefield went silent, only the human's ragged breath breaking the air. He dropped the shard, his body trembling, blood soaking his clothes. Behind him, the doctor lay weak, her body pale and fragile. He stumbled to her side, lifting her gently. Her eyes fluttered open, glowing faintly. You fought like fire, she whispered, her voice breaking, but your fire nearly consumed me. Tears stung his eyes as he held her close. I had no choice, he said. I would not let them take you. Her hand touched his chest weakly, her heartbeat faint. Do you see now? She whispered. This bond is life and death. It gives but also takes. He pressed his forehead against hers, his breath shaking. Yes, he said, softly. And if it takes, then it will take from both of us. Her lips trembled, her silver eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Through the bond, he felt her sorrow, her fear, and something deeper, trust. The ruins around them were littered with fallen soldiers, the air heavy with blood and smoke. But in the center of it all, the human and the alien doctor clung to each other, their bodies broken, their bond stronger than ever. And in that moment, he knew the truth. This was not just a battle of blood. It was a battle of milk and mercy, a battle that had tied their fates forever. The battlefield was quiet again. Only the crackle of fire and the whisper of the wind remained. The human sat with the alien doctor in his arms, his body covered in blood, hers pale with exhaustion. The fallen soldiers lay scattered, their weapons silent, their mission failed. Yet the cost of victory weighed heavier than the ruins around them. Her breathing was shallow, her silver eyes half closed. Through the bond, he felt her weakness like it was his own. He pressed his hand against her, back desperate to keep her awake. Stay with me, he whispered, his voice breaking. You gave me life, don't you dare let yours fade. Her lips curved faintly, a fragile smile forming. You are stronger now than I ever imagined, she murmured. But that strength takes from me, piece by piece. He shook his head, tears burning his eyes. Then I will find a way to give it back. She looked at him, her glowing eyes shimmering with sorrow and hope. You cannot break the bond, human. It is forever. Her words struck deep, heavy as stone, but he tightened his hold, his voice firm. Then forever we walk together. The bond pulsed between them, soft but unshakable. He felt her heartbeat fluttering weakly, yet he also felt her spirit refusing to surrender. For the first time, he realized the bond was not only about power or pain, it was about trust, about carrying each other when one was too weak. More than healing, it was sharing life itself. The human helped her sit up, the ruined battlefield stretching before them. The smoke cleared slowly, the sun breaking through the sky. Its light touched her silver skin, making her glow faintly like a star. She leaned against him, her voice low but steady. Do you regret it? She asked. Closing your eyes? Taking my gift? He looked down at his hands, still stained with blood, still shaking with fire. His chest rose with a heavy breath, his heart torn between fear and gratitude. Finally, he answered, his voice soft but certain. No, because without you I would be nothing but a corpse in the dirt. Her eyes softened, a tear sliding down her cheek. And without you I would still be wandering alone, hated by my people. The silence that followed was not heavy this time. It was gentle, warm, filled with something both fragile and strong. Through the bond he felt her heart steady, her fear easing. and she felt his guilt soften, replaced with resolve. They were no longer enemies, no longer strangers, they were bound, not by chains but by choice. The human rose slowly, helping her to her feet. His body ached, but his strength held firm. She leaned against him, fragile but alive. Together they walked away from the ruins, every step uncertain, but every step theirs to share. Behind them the battlefield remained, a place of blood, death, and judgment, but ahead stretched a path unknown, a path where human and alien walked as one. And though danger still hunted them, though fear still lingered, they carried something stronger than both. The human turned to her, his voice low but firm. "You gave me life with your milk," he said, "but what you truly gave me was hope." Her silver eyes glowed faintly, her lips trembling with emotion. "And you gave me something I never had," she whispered. "A reason to believe again." The bond pulsed, not with pain, but with quiet strength. Two hearts beating as one, two lives tied by choice and fate. And as they disappeared into the horizon, one truth remained clear. This was never only about healing. It was about trust, sacrifice, and the beginning of something greater than war. For in the galaxy that called them cursed, they had found each other, and that more than healing was the real miracle.